Nick Prince.
And our guest on this week's edition of Chatterbox UK is country and western star Randy C. Moore. Hello and welcome to Chatterbox UK. I'm Nick Prince.
I'm Sue L.
And we're your hosts for the next 2 hours. Our email address is chatterboxuk2021@gmail.com.
That's chatterboxuk2021@gmail.com.
Shall we get on with it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh, the high desert snow came in early October. The icy winds cut through his coat. His cows on the prairie needed 3 days of feed. God willing, the devil would not succeed today. As the day came to closing, he knelt by the fire, felt his bones starting to thaw. The stars in the sky looked down for a spell, knowing he'd beaten another cold day to hell. He's his own boss, don't boss him around. He can bulldog the devil down to the ground. A Renaissance man, 2 steps out of time. But he's just a cowboy, and a cowboy is one of a kind. He rises each morning while the sun is still sleeping. The coffee in his cup is so black night can't see. He saddles his dam and he rides out again, holding on tightly to life by the old leather reins. He's tough in ways that nobody knows. He learned life from knocking the skin off his nose. Don't ask, he won't tell you how he got so wise. He's just a cowboy, and a cowboy is one of a kind. He never dreamed of castles or kingdoms, or heroes from comic book pages. All that he needs is a horse and a saddle, and a few thousand wide open spaces. 'Cause he always believed a man should be free, 'cause a man don't belong to no one. No one, God save his soul. He was born to a mother like all human beings. He lives with his habits and his scars. When he's done with living, you won't know when he dies. He's just a cowboy, and a cowboy is one of a kind. Yes, a cowboy is one of a kind. He's just a cowboy. He's one of a kind.
And now on Chatterbox UK, we're just lucky enough to welcome Randy C. Moore. Randy, hello. Welcome to Chatterbox, sir.
Hello, Randy.
Hello, it's good to be here with both of you guys.
It's great to not only hear you but see you as well now.
Yes.
Very impressed because we've been sent your songs for some time. We got to really enjoy your style, and this Christmas CD you got coming out is a really hit the spot with us. And
Good.
in fact, there's one song on there we think could actually be, could almost be one of those sort of Christmas songs that hang around year in, year out, year in, year out. And I think you probably know which one that is, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But Randy,
Okay.
I looked you up, and pretty well established. I mean, when I looked at the country charts, you it was either last week or the week before. It's recent anyway. You had 2 songs in the top 10 alone, so pretty good. So how did Randy Seymour get from maybe a child growing up or whatever? Was it a musical home, and how did you get to where you are now, sir?
Well, I never wanted to be a musician. I'm an artist, and so I always wanted to paint for a living. But I found out girls like guitar players more than like painters. So I started playing guitar a little bit and fooling around with some music with some guys, and actually wasn't playing anything. I was just singing with 3 other guys at school. And I told my mom, I said, we're going to get instruments and play. We're going to be a band. And my mother said, well, wonderful. What's everybody going to play? And I said, well, Denny is going to get a keyboard. He's going to play a keyboard. And I said, Brent has got an electric guitar. And I said, my buddy Scott is going to get a bass. And I said, and I'm going to play the drums. She says, you're not going to play the drums. You're going to play the guitar like Elvis Presley. So let's see who won that argument, my mom. So I played the guitar, and I started out just fooling around with some different songs. And then one day I started writing some of my own songs. Now, this was probably around when I was probably maybe 13 or 14, and fooled around with some bands and things. And then we made a record. We made a demo tape in Houston, and my mom and dad really got behind me. So then we went to Nashville, and we made a record there when I was 15. And my dad knew a disc jockey in Houston who was pretty prominent, that he went to high school, of all things, in Memphis. So he started playing my record. And so I sort of backed into being, making records and doing things in Texas. And so it went well. So I moved to Nashville, and I worked a place there, which was an amusement park, but I also got to play on the Grand Ole Opry a couple times. It really kind of jump-started my career moving to Nashville. That's where I really learned how to craft my songs and really learned how to make records from great people. Of course, everybody moves to Nashville just like they move to other places to be a big star, and that's all well and good, but there's just very, very few people that become, major stars in the music industry. And I tell people all the time, well, I'm doing this because I love it. So if I become a big star, then that's sort of what they call the icing on the cake. So that kind of brought me to making my own records after a fairly long while of writing and recording and just learning and listening to other people. And I don't know, about 5 years ago, I just quit listening to everybody, and I said, well, I'm just going to make the records I want to make now. So my Christmas album and the last 2 albums that I've recorded are really a result of me kind of feeling like I kind of know my way around, and I kind of know myself at the same time. So when people listen to these records, they're really listening to me. It's coming. I mean, I have a weird imagination, but my imagination really comes from how I live and who I am. So, and I like to think that in a way I'm still painting pictures. I'm just using it with words and with notes and guitars and things like that.
And of course, Randy, you could also save a fortune by doing your own album CD covers as well, you see.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Randy, how long, because you are a professional musician, as in, it looks like you're doing this almost every night. You've got a gig on or something. Yeah. Now, how long have you actually been professional? Is it 10 years, 20 years, or how long have you actually?
Let's see. Well, I'm 61, and I started really doing professional music, really in earnest, probably around when I was 16, 17. But I've quit several times too. So, and it's funny. When people ask you how long you've been doing this, or that they'll say, well, you've had 40 years of playing music. I always remember what Charlie Watts said when they were asking him about being 25 years with the Rolling Stones playing music. And he said, well, it's not really 25 years. It's more like maybe 12 or 13 years of waiting and 2 years. So it's really more like maybe 8 or 9 years of actual playing music, you know. So in the same way as you well know, and anybody who's a musician knows, you're going to have gaps and things like that. But I've always come back to it, and I've always enjoyed it. So yeah, I mean, it's probably, I started in earnest when I was around 16, making a living doing this.
Yeah,
I've been lucky.
Yeah, perfect. No, well earned as well, of course. Now, I see there's a bit of a Carl Perkins link here as well. I take, is that inspiration or sort of, no?
I was a friend with Carl. He lived down in Jackson, Tennessee, and I was writing songs with a friend of mine in Nashville who had written a couple songs with him, and they were good friends. And she asked me one day, she said, "Would you like to go down to Jackson and meet Carl?" And I said, "Perkins?" And she goes, "Yes." And I said, "Well, how do I run, not walk to this?" She goes, "Well, I'll introduce you." So I went down and I started writing songs with Carl's daughter, Debbie, who's a real talented lyricist. And then one day I showed up and Carl was there, and we sat down and wrote a song that day and ate lunch. And then I came back and we wrote a couple of other things. And then it just was a good friendship. It was a short friendship because it was really toward the last year or so of his life. So I didn't get to enjoy being around him as much as I would have liked to. But Carl was one of those people that just whatever little time that you were with him, you really enjoyed it. There was no downside to being with Carl. So I miss him. But and we've got a song, Carl and Debbie and I have a song that Ronnie Millsap recorded this year and put on an album, put it out, and Vince Gill is singing it with him. It's called Big Bertha.
Well, I'm sitting here wondering, where's my long, tall baby now? Yeah, I'm sitting here wondering, where's my long, tall baby now? 'Cause somebody came and stole her, left me on the bottom side of down. I used to take her out on Saturdays, and swinging we would go. Yeah, I'd take her out on Saturdays, and swinging we would go. I would do most anything just to swing that gal once more. Alright, here we go. She always felt like a dream, right here in my hands. Any cat who's played around with her understands. Well, I'm bluer than a hound dog, barking up a tree, crying, "Please, please, please, Big Bertha, come on home to me." Well, I hope I never find him, the one that took my gal away. Yeah, I hope I never find him, the dude that took my cow away. 'Cause if I do, I'm telling you, he'll have the devil to pay. She always felt like a dream, right here in my hands. Any cat who's played around with her understands. Well, I'm bluer than a hound dog, barking up a tree, crying, "Please, please, please, Big Bertha, come on home to me. Come on home to me. Whoa, come on home, baby." Well, I know she's just a golf club, Lord, she always sets me free. Let me say it again. Yeah, I said I know she's just a golf club, but she always set me free. Let's wind it up. So if you see my Big Bertha, tell that gal to hit a few for me. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Hall of Famer. Right back at it.
Yeah, it's a song about a golf club that got stolen from from Carl. He had a big Bertha golf club and it got stolen, so he made him mad. So he started this song out, and Debbie and I helped him finish it. So
Brilliant.
So it was recorded. They say it's the last known song that Carl's written, but Debbie and I know better. So there'll be more. There'll be more last known songs to come.
Fantastic. Obviously, we're going to talk about this Christmas. I can't wait to talk about it. We've got to do it in the right order. A couple of other albums, CDs that you mentioned that you've done. There's one at the beginning of the year, and I think there was one before. Tell us about those, please.
Okay. In 2016, I released an album called Highway 59, which was a bunch of songs that half of them, most of them just came to me within a year or two of me writing songs and sort of, I didn't really intend on releasing an album basically. But when I wrote this song one night called Things I Like, which is just kind of a personal song about things that I like. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I like hippies 'cause they smoke dope. They're all about peace and love and tie-dyed dreams of hope. They like women with no makeup and living so naturally. Pass it over to me. I like hippies. I like soldiers in uniform. They walk tall and grin and swear to defend our children and homes. They like drinking beer and talking to old soldiers at the bar, no matter who they are. I like soldiers, and I like music that makes me feel good, and sunsets that make me feel small. I like ocean waves and listening to the rain and the sound of the leaves in the fall. I like being with you and being by myself, and coffee and chords on guitar, and photos of my first car. If you like these things, you'll understand the way that I am. I like mechanics. They smell like tires. They're into pistons and points, grease guns and spark plug wires. They talk about the weather, make old things run just like new. It's what they do. So I like mechanics. I like cowboys, the ones who can ride. They know about cattle, Dolly Parton and Charlie Pride. They like girls in tight blue jeans, and they don't have a whole lot to say. It's just their way. So I like cowboys, and I like music that makes me feel good, and sunsets that make me feel small. I like ocean waves and listening to the rain and the sound of the leaves in the fall. I like being with you and guitar and photos of my first car. If you like these things, you'll understand the way that I am. And coffee and chords on guitar and photos of my first car. If you like these things, you'll understand the way that I am. 'Cause I'm still trying to understand the way that I am.
For some reason in my head it just went, you're gonna make an album, you're gonna make a so I just kept moving forward with that, and I had quite a bit of success with a couple of songs off of that record. One was called Refuge, which was adopted as an official hurricane recovery song down in Florida the following year.
If you could see inside my heart, you would find a place where you belong, a place that's safe from all the rain, from all the pain that's done you harm. I'll be your refuge from the storm. When seas are calm and the skies are blue, the winds are steady and sailing smooth, I hope and pray this perfect day will stay. But if it all goes wrong, I'll be your refuge from the storm. I can't stop the wind from blowing, I can't stop the rain from falling. All I can be is your true friend. When that old blue norther comes blowing in, a harbor safe, a selfless shore. When bows break and sails are torn, I'll be your refuge from the storm. I can't be the stars that guide you, I can't be the wind that drives you. So chart your course while skies are clear. Set your sails high and have no fear. But if bows break and sails are torn, there is a place you can call home. I'll be your refuge from the storm. I'll be your refuge from the storm.
And then before that, I had a lot of success with a song called Sunshine State of Mind, which was played a lot everywhere. And it's also sort of a tropical Jimmy Buffett tinged type song. So both of those songs were really good for me.
Mercury's falling, snowflakes are falling, roads are getting icy and slick. Anyone who says they love winter weather is full of their own bullshit. Me, I'm not hanging around, I'm getting out of town, gonna fly south with the geese. Enjoy your ice fishing and all of your bitching while I take a walk on the beach. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, 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 bye. I'll be floating away on Manatee Bay, leaving the world behind. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, 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 bye. In a sunshine state of mind. Now what is this busyness, working my life to death, 95 hours a week, with too much month at the end of the money? There's not enough rum in my drink. My bones are aching to get half naked, land my butt square in the sand, hang up the phone, I hear paradise calling, come to vacation land. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, 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 bye. I'll be watching the waves laid up in the shade, tequila, salt, and lime. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, 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 bye. I'm in a sunshine state of mind. Hey, 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 hey. So baby, let's build a sandcastle where we can make love by the sea. Adios to cell phones and clocks, it's time to be free. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, 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 bye. We'll be watching the boats, our hearts will be floating on a tropical dream out of time. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, bye, bye. sunshine state of mind. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, 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 bye. We'll be floating away on Manatee Bay, leaving the world behind. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, 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 bye. I'm in a sunshine state of mind. Hey, 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 hey. Bye, 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 bye.
Refuge is still a good one that people love to hear. It's kind of a personal message, and it's sort of a song just basically that reinforces the "You Got a Friend" sort of a theme that James Taylor had when he recorded the Carole King song. And the Sunshine State of Mind is just a fun little jaunt going in my mind down to the tropics, you know. So those two songs were good for me on the Highway 59 record. And then it took a little while, but I moved to Texas last year. Me and my wife moved to Texas, and there was nothing going on with the pandemic. So now I'm sitting in front of my studio, and I've got my guitar, and I'm getting a bunch of inspiration. So I made another record, and I named it after my hometown. It's called Lufkin, Texas, is the name of the album. And there was a song on there that I wrote many years ago for my dad, because my dad he and I always went fishing a lot. And so that was our favorite thing to do, was go fishing. So I wrote a song called Daddy, I Want to Go Fishing.
A million stars were in the sky, 4 a.m. on the 5th of July. We headed out to Toledo Bend, me and Daddy going fishing again. He said we'll be there in an hour or so. Charlie Rich was on the radio. I said, I hope that we get lucky today. He nodded his head and I heard him say, if the good Lord's willing and the mercury runs, we'll be on the water before the sun. With rods, reels, and spinner baits, we'll cast our troubles out into the lake. 'Cause life is a whole lot better when the fishing's fine, and there's a little bit of heaven at the end of that line. Now we pulled into Choctaw Camp, eased that bass boat down the ramp. I held the rope while he parked the truck. I caught myself waking up. He got us out to our honey hole. How he finds it, I never know. I said, all these trees look alike. He said, son, you can trust an old Indian guide. When the good Lord's willing and the mercury runs, we'll be on the water before the sun. With rods, reels, and spinner baits, we'll cast our troubles out into the lake. 'Cause life is a whole lot better when the fishing's fine, and there's a little bit of heaven at the end of that line. When I think about my daddy, I think about fishing, and I think about fishing every day. When I die and leave this place, I want to see my daddy's face, saying, get the rods and reels, son, we're heading to the lake. A million stars were in the sky, 4 a.m. on the 5th of July. We headed out to Toledo Bend, Me and Daddy going fishing again. La 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 la. Come on, let's go fishing. La 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 la. Grab the rods and reels. How does it feel? Son, don't you wanna go fishing? Daddy, I wanna go fishing.
Oddly enough, or not oddly enough, he got to hear this song before he passed away. And I'll tell you the story real quick if it's okay. Dad had a thing he would do when he really liked a piece of music. He would hold his fist up right next to his face because that meant he thought it was really strong. That was his signal for that's really strong. So I was playing this with this band in a club one night. My parents came in and they always sat in the back. They never sat in the front. So I couldn't see them. The only light that was there was the lighting that was on the stage. So I said, well, I'm going to do this song right now that I wrote about me and my dad going fishing. Dad, this goes out to you. So I sang the song, right? When I got done and people were done applauding, out of the darkness steps my father, and he's got his fist up doing That's a Strong thing, and he had tears in his eyes.
Oh, wow.
So whenever I sing that song, Daddy, I Want to Go Fishing, I see my dad. So that's been a good one for me.
No, absolutely amazing story, Randy. Now, I looked when I was researching you. Now, obviously, I've got your bio, but when I was actually researching you a bit further, I found a country chart, and it's only like the last week or two, something like that. And you had 2 songs right up in the top 10. I mean, how many country hits off the top of your head have you had? I think it's been a load, isn't it? A whole bunch.
Maybe, I don't know, less than a half a dozen to this point.
Okay.
And really, a lot of this is based on airplay around the world, not just here in America. So
Sure.
It's very gratifying because I have played overseas quite a bit and I love it. I've played in Monaco several times.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I've played in China a few times. I've played in Denmark. I've played in Saudi Arabia. Woo, that was fun. So you know, I really enjoy going overseas, and I enjoy the audiences and the people that listen in Europe, especially because I don't know whether you guys realize it or not, but people in Europe have a different sort of excitement about live music, and it's almost magical compared to what you get anywhere else in the world. And people ask me, they go, well, what's it like? I said, well, let me just say there's something that we do as American musicians that's different from anywhere in the world. And I think it's because we all grew up here directly being influenced by blues and gospel music, which is very, very soulful. And so we have sort of a soulful looseness to what we do that doesn't really happen naturally in any other part of the world. It's just something that's in our DNA. And I'll tell you what, especially in China, they go absolutely crazy because if you ever listen to Chinese musicians, they're very mathematical and very precise, and everything's perfect, you know. I mean, they play, that's why there's so many great Chinese people who play in orchestras and everything, because they are so precise and so, you know, attention to detail. Me, I'm all over the map, but they love that. They love it, you know. So I enjoy that a lot. I enjoy going overseas and playing a lot. So my overseas airplay probably has a lot to do with that, as far as like my music seems to appeal to people in Denmark, Germany, Italy, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, a lot of those countries, South Africa, things like that. So I don't know why. So if it's good and it's successful, I don't question it.
We have the saying, don't we, in the UK? Don't fix what ain't broke.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got this wonderful Christmas album. Now there's some traditional ones on there, and of course one that means a lot to Brits at the festive time of year is, of course, Silent Night. And, of course, I dare say you probably know the story. I think Americans know the story about the Christmas Day game of football during World War One. And it started off with the Germans singing Silent Night in German to the Allies over the other side of the and then the Brits and the Allies return with it in English, and then they have a game of football. So it really is very special, the fact that it's in both languages. It means a lot to us here. Although it's well over 100 years ago.
Yes.
And Germany won 3-2 apparently.
Well, what's that?
Apparently Germany won 3-2 the Christmas Day game of football.
Well, the version I have on my record, which is called the Christmas album, is called Stille Nacht, Silent Night. And so I actually, without imparting to that story, which I know that story very well, it's really one of the best Christmas stories that there is. I went back and I researched how the song was created, and it was actually created because the church organ had been damaged in this little town in Austria. It had been damaged by flood, the river flooding. So it wasn't going to work on Christmas Eve. So the person who was in charge of the music, he needed a piece of music to play so people could sing a Christmas song. So he wrote this song and he could play it on his guitar. So it's meant for guitar. And that was the beginning of the song, was basically Stille Nacht was born out of necessity. We need music for our Christmas Eve service. So
sure. And
of course it's a very endearing song here. It's a very endearing song around the world. So I decided to sort of marry the two songs together to sort of pay homage to the beginnings of the song. And then of course, all the other versions that I've heard ever since you and I were all kids. Obviously. Yeah. But no, I can still imagine the German soldiers down in their trenches singing, Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, and I can hear the Brits, all is calm, all is bright. I could just that just gives you chills, doesn't it?
It does. It's just so amazing.
Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht, alles lebt, einsam ward, nur das Strandhego, heilige Paar, hol der Knabe im lockigheid Haar. Schlaf an himmlischer Ruhe, schlaf an himmlischer Ruhe. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Gottes Sohn, oh wie laut, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Christ
And another classic there, I think it was Bobby Helms actually had a hit with Silver Bells first in the UK. So Silver Bells, another classic.
City sidewalks, busy sidewalks, dressed in holiday style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, meeting smile after smile. And on every street corner you hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Strings of streetlights, even stoplights, blink a bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. This is Santa's big scene. And above all this bustle you hear silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Very soon it will be Christmas Day.
The reason why that's on the record, that was my mom's favorite Christmas song, Silver Bells.
Lovely, lovely.
So,
Now we've got, now this is the one that I actually think, and I got a feeling it might just scrape in the Heritage chart. I'll make sure the right people hear it. It's also done on Airplay. Is that all that Christmas means? What a fantastic novelty song. Oh, that is amazing. That's a potential hit there. Seriously.
well, that's a song that sort of takes a kind of a pedestrian look at the way that Christmas is sort of gone from being a very simple and pure message to being something that has been, it's like, to tell you the truth, it's a lot like the music business. It's been commercialized so much you can't recognize it anymore. So,
It is just absolutely brilliant.
well,
It's
thank
almost
you.
sort of like very similar to my sense of humour when it was written, but it is, yeah. But it is also really great, absolutely great. And there is a potential hit there, trust me. And I think that'd be bobbing up and down for years to come, that one.
I hear children singing jingle bells, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Their hearts are filled with happiness, knowing Christmas Day will soon be here. And in their eyes are glowing dreams of technicolor toys and things. I wonder as I listen to them sing, is this all that Christmas means? And I see people in a hurry, overloading up their cars with merchandise. They all seem to need to worry, did I buy enough and at some bargain price? And the one gift that's too hard to find, frustration in those shopping lines. It all looks like a disappointing scene. And is this all that Christmas means? Where is the peace on earth and goodwill toward our neighbors and our friends? What happened to that silent night when God became a little child to save the world from misery and sin? Am I missing something in the translation? Is this how it's supposed to be? As I wonder to myself, is this all that Christmas means? I feel the hungry eyes of a child on a Salvation Army billboard sign, and a homeless veteran hoping for an extra helping hand in these hard times. While people with unwanted gifts, puppy dogs, and this don't fit. Every year it all turns out the same. And is this all that Christmas means? Let's find a little peace on earth and goodwill toward our neighbors and our friends. Let's bring back that silent night when God became a little child to save us all from misery and sin. We don't have to go on dreaming of a better way and how the world should be. If we all will just remember, this is all that Christmas means. La 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 la.
All that Christmas means really kind of started out. Actually, it's funny. It started out with a lyrical idea and a song that my uncle had. My uncle, my late uncle, he loved writing songs, and he grew up around Memphis as well as my mom, who worked there. And so my uncle loved music. So he brought me this song, and he said, Randy, he said, I've got this song. Please don't take the Christ out of Christmas. And I thought, well, this is a popular saying. You know, people are saying this. They put it on stuff. You know, the Christ out of Christmas, or keep the Christ in Christmas. So we made up a song around that, and I listened to it, I guess probably a year or so ago, and I thought, you know, this is really a good idea, but I think there's another way to say this and make it to where it actually has a little bit more, it can fall outside of the religious or the non-secular, so to speak. So I started kind of taking the ideas from Please Don't Take the Christ Out of Christmas, and I sort of applied it to this, and that's kind of what came out, because once I started into creating the lyric and creating the song, then the actual last line just kind of like jumped out. Is this all that Christmas means? I went, okay, that's it. And then from there, I started to build more of the story, especially about the child with the hungry eyes on the Salvation Army sign, and the homeless vets who were, asking for money in the streets. All these different images started to come to me that I've seen over the years, and it made me realize that we put a lot of expectations on the Christmas season and the day of Christmas, and sometimes all those expectations sort of blind us to what the real true message is, which is a message of peace and brotherhood and love. And a couple of the songs on the album also speak to that. There's a song called Born in a Barn, which I wrote with my friend Dottie Moore. Born in a Barn is really, it's really just a statement saying, look, Christ was brought to us as the most common, nobody that anyone could be. How much more common can someone be if they're born in a stable? So, and the reason why that is because God wanted to make sure that everyone who was living and could hear the message would have access to it, and not just the rich or the elite or the royalty. It was for everyone. And sometimes this really gets all over people who are royalty and who are highly, exalted and things. They don't like the idea that, they have to share their God with somebody who's living in the Union Mission in Nashville. But that's really the reality of it. And there are things in the Bible that say the first shall be last and the last shall be first. That's a lot of what's in things like Born in a Barn. That's even in things like Is This All Christmas Means? It just, with this album, I'm really wanting to just pull a lot of things back down to the ground for the message of Christmas. And to tell you the truth, I'm not really concerned if people believe in Christmas or they don't or whatever. And I'm not really concerned if people are offended by it or not. It doesn't matter to me, okay? That people are going to do what they're going to do. But this is kind of my personal way of saying, this is what I feel like Christmas means. And so there it is. So that's sort of a long explanation of what you ask as far as like how the song sort of came into being.
And welcome back to part 2 of this week's Chatterbox UK.
But unfortunately, I must have done a lot of thinking or a lot of dreaming over this one. But I never intended to make a Christmas album. I thought, well, there's so many great Christmas songs, so many great Christmas albums. I mean, how can you do something as great as like Bing Crosby's, Christmas album? How could anyone do a great album like, Nat King Cole's Christmas album, The Christmas Song? Those are just unbelievably great records. So,
well, of course.
But I did what I could do, though.
I get that, but I also see that you've done a cover of Little Drummer Boy.
Yes.
Boy, of course, Bing and David Bowie in the end. Now.
A newborn king to see, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, when we come, baby Jesus, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, I am a poor boy too, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, I have no gifts to bring, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, to lay before the king, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum. Shall I play for you, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, on my drum? Very nodded, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. The ox and lamb kept time, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. I played my drum for him, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum. I played my best for him, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum, rum-pum-pum-pum. Then he smiled at me, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum, me and my drum, me and my drum, me and my drum.
Yeah, I don't feel you've gone out to do it any better or anything like that. But your version of Little Drummer Boy, he has got your touch to it. It's not like you've tried to. Well, there's no point sounding like Bing Crosby. But so, in answer to, or in addition, and outside of looking into what you've just said, that you've added your touch, to Little Drummer Boy. It's not the same. It's your way of doing it. It's quite listenable. And I think you've done very well with this Christmas album. It's come off really well. You know?
Here's the idea of Little Drummer Boy, and this is what I wrapped my brain around when that all just kind of came up, and I started doing that. I thought, what would happen if a modern kid had drums or a drum, and that's all he could play for someone? What would he want to play? He'd want to play the coolest thing he knew how to play. So what's one of the coolest drum beats in the world? Is the Bo Diddley beat. Bump, 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 bump. So that was really kind of where it all kind of started. And I thought, all right, if this was modern day, boom, that might be what he would lay down, right there in the nativity. So
brilliant, perfect.
All the wise men would be rocking to it. They'd be going, hey,
yeah. Now, tell us again, what's the name of the Christmas album, please, Randy?
Oh, the Christmas album. That's the name of it.
I think I remember that one from now on. So the Christmas album, and is it already available? Or is it? It's
downloadable right now as we speak on Amazon Music and on iTunes. Randy C. Moore the Christmas album, you could go to my website. It's probably going to be there, which is randycmoore.com, RandyCmoore. Under the things that you can look up the music, and then I'll have compact discs available probably in another couple of weeks or so. But for now, you can digitally download it, and that's a good way to go. Everybody's doing that.
Sure. While I'm thinking about it, now the Christmas album. Now, are people able to download one song only? Is that available? Like 99p or whatever.
You can download just one song. Yeah. Yes.
So, I'm looking forward to more country hits from you, and we're looking forward to speaking to you again, Randy. But before we say goodbye, what is next? I know this is only just coming out. What is next for Randy Seymour? Well, when you come back next year for an interview again and an update, what will we be talking about, do you think?
We'll be talking about a record that I'm working on right now that has a couple of songs. It actually has the first song that I actually sat down and wrote with Carl Perkins and Debbie. It's called Blood Brothers. So it will have that. It's sort of a story of Carl growing up. He grew up picking cotton, sort of like Johnny Cash did, and his best friend was a young black boy who was probably 2 years older than he was, and they pretty much relied on each other. They had nobody else to go to, so they were the best of friends, and they called themselves Blood Brothers. And there'll be other songs on there too, but look for the album to have that, definitely. So a couple of new songs that are from the Carl Perkins collection.
Okay, that's cool. We'll come knocking on your door when we hear about that. It's not a problem. Okay, now Randy, website I believe is quite literally all the W's, of course. Randy C. Moore, with more being MOORE. So RandyCmoore.com.
That's it.
Social media, I think you've got Facebook and a bit. So any other social media links, I assume, can be clicked from your website. I assume that they'll link in from there. Brilliant.
Get the website to that.
The only thing I want to ask now, I think I might have clicked like, is okay. Never mind. YouTube channel. Do you have a YouTube channel?
It's YouTube. Yes.
Perfect. It wasn't dreaming it. And Sue, have you got anything else?
I've got a weird question. When you go out singing and you got a gig tonight, do you get dressed up?
No. Well, this is an outdoor thing, so I'm probably going to be wearing exactly what you're seeing right now. So, but for special occasions, when I'm really in front of a captive audience, I might don something that's a little more flashy.
Just having a look at some pictures, and I can see what you was. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to be going outside here. I can tell you tonight, it's freezing already.
Right?
And are those fireworks, or a lot of people getting shot out there tonight?
Yes, dear.
Yeah, okay. So Randy, absolutely brilliant. It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you very much,
And I know that these songs have just gone down so well with the Chatterbox listeners. And yep, I've got a feeling we'll definitely be chatting again. And thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, Nicholas. God bless you, and God bless Sue. I really appreciate you guys taking the time with me.
And
You're
you.
most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hear children singing jingle bells, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Their hearts are filled with happiness, knowing Christmas Day will soon be here. And in their eyes are glowing dreams of Technicolor toys and things. I wonder as I listen to them sing, is this all that Christmas means? And I see people in a hurry, overloading up their cars with merchandise. They all seem to need to worry, did I buy enough and at some bargain price? And the one gift that's too hard to find, frustration in those shopping lines. It all looks like a disappointing scene. And is this all that Christmas means? Where is the peace on earth and goodwill toward our neighbors and our friends? What happened to that silent night when God became a little child to save the world from misery and sin? Am I missing something in the translation? Is this how it's supposed to be? As I wondered to myself, is this all that Christmas means? I feel the hungry eyes of a child on a Salvation Army billboard sign, and a homeless veteran hoping for an extra helping hand in these hard times. While people with unwanted gifts, puppy dogs, and this don't fit, every year it all turns out the same. And is this all that Christmas means? Let's find a little peace on earth and goodwill toward our neighbors and our friends. Let's bring back that silent night when God became a little child to save us all from misery and sin. We don't have to go on dreaming of a better way and how the world should be. If we all just remember this is all that Christmas means. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Chatterbox.
You're listening to Nick Prince and Sue L on Chatterbox UK.